Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. You could be anywhere, but you decided to be here. In my channel, we don't talk about a specific topic. We cover everything that is trending right now. So today, after the very eventful weekend in the world of sports, specifically the NFL draft, we're going to be talking today about what everybody's still talking about. I was waiting on the weekend to pass and a couple of days to go by to see what was the reaction after that crazy draft in the eyes of many. In my eyes, it wasn't crazy at all. It was expected. It was like what every draft I've seen before is pretty much it. Some surprises, some people drop off the draft, and this time around wasn't the exception with Shedeur Sanders. That's the name that everybody keep hearing about it, right? Why I decided to talk about this? Well, in the world of sports, going back to the NFL draft, this happens all the time. Now, what I don't agree with is the fact that everybody starts looking for an excuse. Let me rephrase that. The fans of certain players or XYZ player or sympathizers from sports media casters and whatnot, they start looking for outside guilty parties to blame for what happened. And the first thing that came out was, oh, that move was racist. Come on, man. Let's not even go there. 32 picks on the first round. 26 of them were black guys. The first pick of the draft was a black guy. That racism card, it just went out the window. I hate when they do that. Why I hate it so much? Why I hate the word or the card of racism in every aspect, especially when it comes to sports. You move the accountability aspect to other people, outsiders. Owners are racist. Coaches are racist. Quarterback scouts are racist. No, they're not. I guarantee you not. It's what, 55% of the league is black people. So no, I don't think they are. They paying pretty good money for these players. Those are your employers. You could find any other job, but you decided to play sports. And hey, only 1% of college players make it to the NFL, right? So let's get rid of the racism part, because that's not it. That's not what happened. The other thing that I heard about is, well, he was better gifted as a player than many other quarterbacks in the draft. Maybe. It all depends from what side of the coin you look at it, right? Because some people say, well, he's better gifted. He broke records in Colorado, left and right. He probably did. Well, not probably. He did broke a lot of records. But he went to a school that it sucked for many, many, many years. When you're a decent player or you're a good player and you go to a really bad school program, to a sports program, yes, you're going to break a lot of records because you're better than what they had before. Of course you're going to do that. We go back to how many top 25 teams Shedeur Sanders beat, and it was one team. That's all he did. He got stumped by most of the top 25 teams that he faced. Let's take that in consideration where we compare him to the other quarterbacks. The other thing is, maybe you didn't fit with the program they want, right? So this is the aspect that we have to take accountability of what we do and what we say. So Shedeur Sanders, out of his own mouth, he said, if a team is not ready to change the way they approach the game or to change the culture, then don't pick me. The game is older than Shedeur Sanders. The teams are older than Shedeur Sanders. Whatever culture is implemented on that team, it comes from the coach, right? The coach is the one that is going to dictate what culture he want to implement on that team. Now, you have a prospect player, because he's not in the NFL yet. You have a prospect that says, you're going to sing or you're going to dance in my tune only, because I'm bigger than the team. See where we're going with that? We move from it's racist, he didn't get picked, he's better than other players, other quarterbacks in the draft, to ignoring completely the words said by him. I'm bigger than the game. I'm bigger than any team. They take all of this into consideration. Now, let's go to the different teams' interviews, right? Some teams that come out already that he showed up with an entourage. He showed up with headphones on his neck, playing music all the time. I mean, you're going for a job interview, man. Come on. Let's be professional about it. But why is he acting that way? Because he thinks he's better than anybody else. And one thing is for you to have confidence on your skills. One thing is you being extremely cocky and not realizing that other people is better than you. When you approach any job interview with the air of that you're better than any other candidate, you're even better than the coach, because the culture of the team has to be molded to your culture, to your liking, to your whatever you bring into the team. Ain't no coach want to deal with that. They want coachable players. It doesn't matter how good you are. They want a coachable player. This is the thing that I see it from my point of view. I have kids. My kids play volleyball. Us as parents, we have two choices to guide our kids. One, we can tell them, hey, you can be as good as you want to be, but you have to put in the work. And from that perspective, we can help them grow within whatever sport they're playing. The other approach that we can have is there's not a single person better than you in the whole country. You're the best one. Even though we know for a fact that they're not as great as we want them to be, or what we think they are. A lot of times, if my daddy is saying it, I'm going to believe it because he's saying it. But it's looking at you from the daddy's perspective, not from any other perspective. So that being said, I'm pretty sure that a lot of the coaches saw the relationship of Shedeur Sanders with Deion Sanders. Coaches pretty much are thinking, right? You got a head coach, you got a quarterback coach. It gives this guy a playbook. And what is he going to do with that playbook? He's going to take it home, and daddy is going to be on his ear telling him that play sucks, or don't do it this way, do it that way. There's already coaches, working on this playbooks and designing the game and trying to go with the strengths and weaknesses of their own team and try to exploit the weaknesses of the opposing team, right? So they're designing an entire game plan based on that playbook. Yet you're going to have an outside voice at all times on your ear telling you, no, you do this. No, you do that. No, you do the other way. They don't want to deal with that. They don't want to deal with that because a head coach is getting paid some money to do something, and the player is getting paid to listen to that head coach, right? Because at the end of the day, if the team is not performing, the first one to go is the coach. The always is the coach because he's not using the strengths of the team. Let's move away from all this nonsense that is racist. Because in this case, in particular, the race of the player has nothing to do with it. It has to do with the outside noise. Hell, let's go even to the combine. The boy didn't go to the combine. He didn't want to participate in certain things. He didn't want to go here. Didn't want to go there. He has a whole entourage of cameras on his own private workouts. Top prospects are going out there because they're looking for a job. They're looking for a team to draft them, even though they know they're going to get drafted. They're out there performing for their employer, their future employer. Here we go back again to the same topic, right? I'm bigger than the game. I'm legendary. It's legendary without even making a complete pass yet in the NFL. So that's pretty crazy. Can he be a bust in the NFL? He could be, like many other players have been. Can he be an amazing quarterback, even though he got picked in the 5th round? Absolutely. Even the GOAT, Tom Brady, got picked super late in the draft. And he's the GOAT, right? But he didn't go in with the mentality of, I'm bigger than the game. He perfected his craft. He sat down, he studied and study and study. He saw weaknesses in his game, and he knew he had to exploit the other team's weaknesses. So how do you do that? Is by studying the other team. With Shedeur Sanders, we looking from outside, we know that's not there because he already thinks it's the best thing. You even if you follow his games in college, even some of the games that he lost, and when he is getting interviewed, he's just blaming his teammates. Come on, man. There's no leadership right there and blaming your teammates for the fall of the team. It's a team sport. They all could have played better. It's the reality of it. But bottom line, moving the blame to what happened to the outside factors instead of looking within, it's what I don't agree with. One of the reports that came out, I cannot say is 100% true, but by the looks of it and how everything has been moving around, yes, it could be true. And it's that Daddy Sanders wants to be in the first meeting with the Browns with his son. No coach wants that because Daddy Sanders said, my son would not be a backup quarterback to nobody. There's 5 quarterbacks on that roster right now. One of them getting paid a ton of money. We'll see what happens there because that's the fact of the business. If you don't look like a good business to me and I'm paying you for a job, I trade you or I fire you. That's as simple as that. It happens in every job. It's not only in sports. When they pay you to do a job and you don't do it, you get fired. The other thing that we need to talk about is the media tour that Deion Sanders did. What it was about that media tour? Well, he was telling to the whole world that he has a list of teams that he didn't want his son to play for. He did mention a team, a specific team. He said a list of teams. Taking that into consideration, all the teams can take notice of this guy does not want to play with us. And they move on with their picks. Probably they adjusted their picks, whatever the case may be. But you cannot go and tell the world you have a list of teams that I don't want my son to play for and then expect them to pick them, because who wants to have a disgruntled employee from the get-go? From day one, you have a disgruntled employee. Or you wasted a pick on that guy and then he goes and simply doesn't want to play for you. That is another layer into the issue of why teams were avoiding picking Shedeur Sanders. And again, we go back to the basics. You cannot do all of these things and then expect them to throw the red carpet at you when you haven't even thrown a ball in the NFL just yet. Now, he has the opportunity to prove himself because there's plenty of quarterbacks in the Browns. Now he will have to compete for that QB1, and let's see how it goes, right? So he has all the pressure on him, which he asked for it because he is legendary, right? We'll see how all of that plays in the near future. We're going to keep you guys updated. We're going to keep monitoring the situation. We're going to give you guys updates. Again, thank you for coming by. Drop a like, subscribe to my channel. Again, we talk a little bit about everything here. And see you on the next one. Take care.